cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
You have to sing it like you're a surfer dude. Cafe anyway. There's kind of a surfer dude bro thing going on today's show. Not just a tiny little bit, not a whole bunch, because I hate that culture. So, but it's episode 1307. I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, Mont. Today we'll get to the segment
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Wow SCHATZ WOW, because that's what my mom says when I tell her something surprising. Think good thoughts for my mom. She's healing with her
Mike's Daily Podcast
knee that got injured. And we'll have on John Deere the engineer, Floyd the Floorman, and get to Chely Shoehart, who's dating a man named Bob, who apparently I don't know anything about, and that's okay, because I can't shout right now. Wait.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Maybe I can. Let me try. That's about it. Hey, it's Friday.
Mike's
and they're doing that
Daily
healthcare thing.
Podcast.
The AHCA or whatever.
Yeah.
Affordable Care Act replacement. And they're doing that right now as we speak. C-SPAN has that on now live. The Freedom Caucus just wants to completely repeal everything from Obama because he's black. And that the Trump is like, no, we've got to keep some of the things, like pre-existing conditions. I like that. I like that you can stay on the plan when you're like growing up and you're not quite 30 yet. And you can stay on your parents' plan. I like that. Keep that going. And then C-SPAN does their wide open phone call show with the lovely Greta on Friday. She's so beautiful. And even though Russ, who I work with, disputes that with me. But what I'm saying, I guess she's not his type. Or he's not her. So what I'm saying is that the people call in and they go, I have heart medicine and they go on and on and on, and I don't know why they don't cut them off early, but they just let them talk because they're nice and they're C-SPAN, and they go on about how they either hate Trump or love Trump and hate Obama, etc. It is so much fun watching it. But the Freedom Caucus, I have had problems with the Freedom Caucus before. Hey, look who just walked in. Remember during that little bit of a thing where there was the end of the year and the deadlock over the budget and the government shut down? Remember all that? That was Freedom Caucus. Thank you, Freedom Caucus, because they don't like black people. And that's what Kanye West said. Oh, that's what he said about George W. Bush during Hurricane Katrina and the aftermath. Remember that? But the Freedom Caucus, I don't understand them. Maybe it's because I live in the left coast, the Bay Area, Podcaster Valley, Mont. Maybe it's because they are just so, I don't know. I kind of get, I really seriously only just a little bit get the whole take the power out of government. Yet these same people, when a big hurricane comes and knocks down their house, and they want the government. That's so, I've seen it. It's true. Don't argue with me. But look, a couple people have come in to argue with me.
Hello, Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. And I don't know what Bob does either.
You don't?
No, but I love Bob. And I'm the gift shop supervisor.
How's that going?
Good, Mike Matthews.
If a hurricane knocked down your gift shop, what would you do, Chely Shoehart?
Well, I have a little bit of insurance in it. And if it was really bad, I'd want the government to... Really bad, I'd want the government to step in.
That's right. Look who else is here. Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere the engineer. Mike, I'd rather be listening to comedy. Bang, bang. How dare you? How dare you say that to me? John Deere the engineer. Well, it's a similar show. No, it's not! Well, there's like craziness going on. It's the same kind of humor. Only he's way more popular. And when you search for podcasts, his name comes up before yours does. Joe Rogan comes up before he does. How dare you? I'm doing something completely different. I've been doing this show longer than Comedy Bang Bang. I'm better. I'm bald. See? QED. Oh, okay. You got me there. In any way, in any whatever, in any way, where to go?
Anyway.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I wanted to tell you that yesterday I walked with the lovely Lady Katie, who does a segment that we call
Holding Court with Lady Katie. Lady Katie.
But we haven't done it in a long time. Why? Because, well, Katie's had a bunch of stuff going on in her life. She's had a lot of positive things going on, and I'm so happy for her. So we'll have to have her on the show soon. I did have Basil the Boxer got to play with her lovely dog Mally, her dog Mally, and we had a fun time yesterday. And I just want to say thank you, God, for great people like Katie. I mean, what would this world be? I'd like to thank God for Haley, too. Haley comes in every day and will say to me, "You're wrong!"
And here's today's podcast picture.
In fact, let's look at the podcast picture, and then we'll get to emails from email. The podcast picture today is of this wonderful place that where the heck did it go? Oh, here it is. It's Yerba Buena Park in San Francisco, in that cool church that's right across the street. And the flowers are blooming. And I actually took this picture a couple years back, actually, but I'm sure it would pertain to today. It looked very nice there as well. I remember going there, and I may have used this as a podcast picture years ago. I'm kind of having a sense of deja vu right now, but years ago, when I first visited the Bay Area, I had a lot of friends that lived in the Bay Area because I was going to UCSB. UC Santa Barbara has a lot of Bay Area students because the kids in the Bay Area, they get sick of the Bay Area and they want to go somewhere, but that's not too far away from home, still in California, that's on the beach and the water's warmer and sunnier and they can wear a bikini. So they go to UCSB. It's still true today. I was just talking to a young person who is going to UCSB over the weekend. I was talking to them and they were like, yeah. And I'm like, is that place still there? Yeah. Is that place still there? No. Is that place still there? No. No. That's all gone, Mike. They tore it all out. Oh, man. Do you still get tar all over your feet when you walk on the beach? Yes, Mike, you do. Splendid. Splenda. Never use that stuff. I just use agave. But she said to me, who am I talking about now? Is it Katie? Was the girl that talked to UCSB? I digress. Some English beat for you. Hope I don't get dinged for that. That was the name of the last show. Hey, so people from the Bay Area would go down to UCSB, to UC Santa Barbara, and I got to meet a lot of people. I met some cool people. I made friends with a girl named Yvonne, and she, as far as I know, I have not reconnected with her. It's been over 2 decades. Supposedly she lives in the Bay Area, but she would say, hey, come up and visit. So I'd go and I'd stay with her, and one day we went to San Francisco and drank coffee at a little coffee place, and I thought it was the coolest thing. I think it was the first time I had ever drank coffee in a coffee place. Well, in San Francisco, at any rate. And it was at the top of that thing at Yerba Buena Gardens that kind of overlooks where you see the church and where this picture was taken, is my point. And that coffee place is now, I think, that little Italian restaurant. But it's so nice. And see that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And help out the show through the Amazon link. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out. There's also, through the Amazon link. And there's also the PayPal link. You can become an Inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster if you do that. You can also call me at 336-MM-DAILY. And, in fact, let's get to an email from email .com not so comment.
Oh my god!
Email for me now at your com at not so com mess.
This was actually a text yesterday to 336MM Daily. And it said the following. It said, with your G rant, it sounds like you are hooked on phonics. That was pertaining to when I was talking about when people over-accentuate the G sound in certain words. Like hang. Hang up on that person when they call and say that. But I guess I was using a lot of sounds. And I don't know what hooked on phonics really is, and this person I know who texted this is younger and may have been subjected to hooked on phonics. For that, I am eternally sorry. Then I asked this person, hey, are you coming in today? Is the bus late? Do you need me to pick you up? And he said, I'm walking across the parking lot. And that, my friend, is today's emails from email and your com and not so comments. Thank you. You know what? You can also listen to past interviews. I still haven't cleared up a lot of those broken links on the interviews pages, but whatever. I'm getting to that. I got tomorrow off from my weekend job. That's all I care about. I got tomorrow off, and I don't care if the guy that I work with on the weekends, and he complains, oh, when you take a weekend off, that means I have to fill in extra time, and I don't get to work at Red Rabbit anymore. Hopefully he doesn't complain too much about that. Whatever, I don't care. I'm going to have my day off tomorrow. Thank you very much. And now we get to the segment, Wow Schatz Wow.
Wow Schatz Wow.
Well, there was an article, Bro, I'm Going Rogue, Wall Street informant double-crossed the FBI. And I wanted to read this one little paragraph from it. In 1998, his name is Gentile. He quit his job at Coke. He created his own trading website, an E-Trade knockoff that collected fees for executing trades. His clients weren't getting rich, but it didn't hurt his bottom line. By 2009, that company and another trading firm he'd started were netting about $3.5 million combined. Gentile drove Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Yes. It rhymes with louche. That's what he is a louche, including a white convertible that a dealer told him had belonged to R. Kelly. And he invested in a Miami reggae record label. He referred to his lifestyle as that of a simple jet setter. After the dot-com bubble burst, U.S. regulators began implementing rules to protect clueless investors from themselves, such as requiring that day traders have at least $25,000 to their names and banning funding accounts with credit cards. With the number of prospective clients declining, Gentile decided to move somewhere with fewer regulations. He set up shop in the Bahamas. Brokers there don't have to follow day trading rules, and they can take American customers as long as they don't advertise for them. The loophole gave Gentile a steady stream of business, and the offshore brokerage basically ran itself. Bored and still daydreaming about a law enforcement career. Yeah, he's that kind of a louche. He signed up to get an online associate degree in criminal justice from the University of Phoenix. You know, I was once considering in 2009 when I was out of radio, and I was like, I am not getting back into radio. Never. I need to learn some other skills. So I actually made the mistake of calling the University of Phoenix. My friend, they never stopped calling you back. They called me relentlessly because they told me how much it was going to cost and what it entailed, and I said, this is ridiculous, this is a scam. And I said, not interested. They kept calling me back. Are you maybe interested now? Anyway, this guy registered as a freelance bail enforcement agent. Yes.
Anyway.
And with the state of Connecticut. But before he had a chance to track down any fugitives, he boarded the flight to White Plains, and the FBI presented him with a better chance to live out his fantasies. And then he double-crossed him. Look up that story on the internet. I won't read the whole thing. It's quite long. I'm scrolling down several pages later. Zeke Foe wrote the story. I guess it's on Bloomberg.net. And then, so basically these stories I'm pulling for the guy I produce the show for in the morning. Before I was just tasked with having to produce his show, put music at the beginning and end and sound effects, but now I'm actually having to pull his content. After decades of saving diligently, Dan, who's 53, that's not much older than me, made the decision last year to retire early. Stupid! He stayed at his job managing a grocery store until February, just before Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives unveiled a health care bill that could make his early retirement much harder to afford. Well, duh! I'm not going to read the rest of that, because I'm going to tell you right now, it cost me almost $500 a month when I was not working, and stupid Anthem had kept increasing my health care cost every month, the premium, until I had no idea. It was stupid me is what it was. And then I got on Obamacare. I got on top of Obamacare. What the?
That's not even funny.
You're right, Obama. No, I don't want to talk about that one. I want to talk about this one story that would make my mom go, wow, shuts wow. In that gas stations are disappearing in Massachusetts. What? How can they drive then? The number of gas stations across the state has plummeted over the past decade, with an even sharper decline in the greater Boston area. That must suck, because I know in the Bay Area, you just, when you have a car, you just don't know when you're going to be freaking out of gas sometimes. I mean, if you don't even pay attention to how much you're paying for health care, what about how much gas is left in your tank? The city's downtown area in particular has become somewhat of a gas station desert, forcing motorists to range farther afield to fill up their tanks. Now, some mom-and-pop operations have been squeezed out by bigger suburban stations. Stricter environmental standards have prompted some stations to close rather than pay for expensive equipment upgrades. But perhaps the main factor for the decline, the soaring value of real estate. Yes, it's still going up, despite what they're saying, especially because I've been hearing housing prices have gone down. And rentals, the cost to rent in Oakland has started to go down. Land has become so valuable, it has enticed many station owners to sell, though, in the Boston area. And, okay, then, finally, I think I'll wrap it up with South Korea. The finance minister, Yoo Il-ho, told reporters that while South Korea won't be branded as a currency manipulator under the current criteria used by the Treasury, there could be problems if the U.S. decides to... No, I wasn't going to go with that story. I meant the Senate votes to let ISPs sell your data without consent. Yes, that's far more interesting than South Korea. Whoop from Gangnam Style. I heard that China is banning all kinds of South Korea. They're like even censoring... Psy, the guy that does the Whoopum Gam Style, he was censored out of a TV show because China has this total anti-South Korea thing going on right now. The Senate took the first step yesterday toward blocking rules that would restrict how some big tech companies share and sell your personal data. A prospect that digital activists said would be a huge loss of online privacy. Senate passed a measure, it was a party line vote, 50-48. Thank you, Republicans, that would bar the Federal Communications Commission from enforcing rules it approved last year when it was under Democratic control that sought to ban internet service providers like cable and cell phone companies from selling your data without your consent. Yeah, the vote has little immediate impact. The measure would have to pass the House and be signed by Trump before it could become law. And then Trump, he said to me,
should I sign it?
I said, no, don't.
We had to make the move, and we decided to make the move.
No!
But we're moving things along, and we're moving them along fast.
Don't stop moving so fast! But no timetable for House action has been set. In the meantime, the FCC rules that the measure would overturn aren't scheduled to go into effect until December. When I was walking with the lovely Katie yesterday, she suddenly said to me, because she gets those alerts on her phone, she said, "Hey, Trump just said if it doesn't pass, if the health care bill doesn't pass today, if it doesn't pass, he said, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything else with it." And I said, yeah, Trump keeps us in suspense.
I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
He's crazy, man. He's all kinds of nuts. And that is kind of...
I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it becomes the law, the bill in effect would preserve a two-track regulatory system that treats ISPs, the companies that connect you to the internet, which are overseen by the FCC, differently from web companies like Google and Facebook, which are regulated by the Federal Trade Commission. So the rules passed last year by Democrats in the majority would require ISPs to ask you explicitly to opt in. Internet service providers would have to ask you to explicitly opt in to letting them share personal information. On web-based ad networks, data sharing is usually turned on by default, and you have to dig through menus and settings and opt out of it. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Well, that was fun. We went over 20 minutes, my friend. I better let you go and get ready for the weekend. Have a great weekend. If you're listening to this on the weekend, thank you. If it is the weekend right at this moment, you can listen to me on the radio. I'm on an internet radio station playing country, bluegrass, Americana. It's a fun station, all kinds of fun music, and I do a show in the afternoons on the weekends at countrycrossroadsradio.com, countrycrossroadsradio.com. I will talk to you on Monday, God willing.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!